There is a go live button. Previously, that go live button has been triggered automatically. I've been talking to my microphone for 15 minutes without actually being live. So I guess I'm explaining what we're doing again, starting with... I guess the tedious part I just did for 15 minutes is being skipped now, which is in its own way a good thing. Look! The fucking button wasn't there before, okay? So we're level grinding, or not level grinding, we're stat grinding in Kingdom Hearts 3 because the superboss, I just can't beat him. And for that we're going to need a lucky ring first and foremost. So I got 20 postcards here and we're just going to mail all of these in until we get a lucky ring. And there we go, it was the third. I'm going to give them all to the postcard. Maybe I can get more than one lucky ring. That would be amazing. I don't think you can. I think it maxes out at 1. But, you know, if I can get a second one, it's only going to help me in the long run. So, yeah, I feel like I'm only going to get synthesis materials, though, is the thing. Which isn't a bad thing, because most of those I'm going to be able to use. So, I probably should clarify in Discord that I am in fact live. Yeah, YouTube just sucks. I'm live now. Look, I've been actively streaming like once or twice a week for like a month and a half now. This is the first time I've had to press that button. Why do I have to press the button suddenly? Why didn't I have to press the fucking button before? I don't know. Honestly, at least now I know. So from today onward, I'm going to check every single fucking time. I was live, quote unquote live. I was I was performing. I wasn't necessarily live. Also, I'm level 74 in the gummy level, which is quite high, I think. So yeah, no, I was doing my whole live stream thing and just like having fun for like 15 minutes before anything actually happened there. So that was not a good time to be alive, I guess. But now we have 4 viewers, which might actually be like record high. So welcome everybody. We now have the lucky ring, and now we're going to get to the actually tedious part, which is the reason I'm streaming this, because I want you guys to be in agony together with me. We are going to need to gather a lot of items. At the moment, my stats are as follows. 65 strength, 69, nice, magic, and 64 defense. That's all base without any equipment. With the equipment, they're like closer to 85 to 90. So I'm going to raise those all to 100 base stats. Meaning that I need 35 strength increases, 31 magic increases, and 36 defense increases. I've already done like 1 round of grinding for items here. So hello, Baymax is waving to me. Where is the place we need to be at? Let's just run up this wall. Which means that we need, as of right now, about 350 Wellspring crystals, 200 Soothing crystals, 200 Pulsing crystals, 180 Withering crystals, 170 Blazing crystals, 200 Frost crystals, 190 Lightning crystals, 200 Hungry crystals, 200 Lucid crystals, 200 Twilight crystals, 200 Sinister gems, and 36 Hungry crystals. Yeah, Hungry crystals for some reason you don't need as many of. You can see how that's going to be an issue. And that's only for me to be able to beat the game, or the super boss of the game, in standard mode. So when we get around to eventually sometime in the future doing critical mode, I'm going to have to do this all again. And I probably should point out the equipment I just got and what I'm using to make this as like frictionless as possible, which still going to be very, very annoying to deal with. Again, that's why I'm live streaming this, because I've done this for like an hour and I got bored. I was like, let's live stream this. Let's just like make content out of this misery. So we have Goofy with us, obviously, as always, which has one Lucky Strike ability through level up. Then we have the favorite deputy Keyblade, which I probably should have like upgraded you. You know what? We're going back to Hero's Garage because we are upgrading that Keyblade. But that has the ability as well, Lucky Strike, and then we got a Lucky Ring, which also has a Lucky Strike ability, which should mean that we get quite a lot of drops. When I was grinding before, I didn't quite like one-shot anything with my Thunder spell, but that's probably because Favorite Deputy is just not very high leveled at the moment. So I'm going to level that Keyblade up to the max so that it does a little bit more damage, which should make this whole experience a lot better for me. Apparently YouTube is telling me to lower my bitrate. I'm not going to lower my bitrate. I'm at 4500 kilobits, which is not a lot for a game like this. Workshop, there we go. Keyblade Forge, Favorite Deputy. Yeah, you can really do with a couple more upgrades there, mate. I don't have a lot of adamantines, is the thing. You know what? You can see how many fucking Wellspring gems we have. I mean, I used a couple there. That's not going to be that big of a deal. We're going to need about 500. We have 160 right now. More or less. So, yeah. But we got a couple more magic points out of it. Which, actually, now that I mention it, no, I can't. I was going to say I probably should use the magic equipment things I got from the limit cut bosses, the data fights. But you can't because this game sucks. By which I mean that's on a different save file. The DLC bosses are on a different save file, which is a bit of a bitch move in my opinion. I kind of get it. This looks way cooler than it is. I kind of get it, but at the same time, you have New Game Plus. I can bring all those items over through New Game Plus. Just let me use them in the end game without having to replay the entire fucking game. I would very much appreciate that. 1.10 update. Please make it possible. Don't know how you're going to make it possible because that literally just changes the entire mechanics of the DLC. But I don't care. I'm not a game designer. You figure that one out. I'm just a dude on YouTube complaining about something that you've worked on for like hundreds and thousands of hours and has cost thousands and thousands of dollars to produce, and I'm just here complaining about it. That's kind of like my end of this deal. Sorry, you just kind of drew the short straw there. Which one? I guess we do lose magic by equipping the Lucky Ring, but it should, at the end of the day, still be beneficial for us. In theory, anyway. So, how we do the actual fight, and you're going to see this a lot, so if you miss what's happening first time around, don't worry, we're going to do this about like 30 to 50 times today. Maybe a little bit less. So, how I do this is I just lock on immediately and just start spamming Thunder. And do I have enough MP to actually like make this worthwhile? No. No, I do not. I definitely need more MP or something that gives me more MP. The thing is, I don't have anything that gives me more MP. Also, I should take off the ability that does not allow me to use magic as my last spell, unless it's Curaga. Which in usual gameplay is a fucking lifesaver. It saved my life so many times. In this, it's actually rather annoying. Oh yeah, and sometimes enemies fall down and you think you've beaten everything and you haven't. You just kind of like have to deal with that. And it's exactly what's happening right now. It usually happens to like 1 or 2 enemies, and it's pretty much nothing you can do about it other than just killing them faster. Which is a brilliant strategy, isn't it? Just don't be bad. It's pretty much the strategy there. Oh yeah, and there's going to be a loading screen before and after the battle gate every single time. But this is the best way to get most of the Wellspring items. Among which is the Wellspring Gem, but also the Wellspring Crystal we're going to be using quite a bit of, I think. So, yeah, we're going to be doing this a lot. I would prefer if you could, like, store these 2 maps, or these 2, like, places, coordinates, however the fuck this is programmed, like, in RAM. I know there's probably not enough room in the RAM to load all of that in and also have the game still run. That's definitely a you problem, though. It's not a me problem, that's a you problem. You should try to use Thunder only when there's multiple enemies in the same place as well, because obviously it'd be an area of effect kind of thing. And I kind of feel like, and it probably isn't true, but I kind of feel like I'm getting disproportional amount of lightning materials. And Wellspring, obviously. But mostly lightning, because I'm using Thunder, question mark? I don't think that's how that works, but it definitely does feel that way. You see, I just got a Lightning Stone and a Lightning Gem without using Thunder, so that kind of like doesn't support my argument at all. The RAM amount is more than enough. I don't know how much RAM is in the PlayStation 4 Pro. It's got to be like 16 gigabytes, right? We can Google this. We can Google this. There's a very long loading screen coming up. RAM PS4, PS4 Pro. How much RAM do you have? Technical specifications. System memory. There we go. Only 8 gigabytes. Which, wow. Okay, I mean, this makes a certain amount of sense for it being fast, I suppose. But anybody wants to guess, without looking it up, what configuration 8 gigabytes of memory is in the PS4 Pro? It's 8 gigabytes. It is a GDDR5 indeed, or 5X. I don't even know the difference there, to be honest. But you would think, okay, so that's probably like 2 sticks of 4 gigabytes, right? Maybe it's 4 sticks of 2 gigabytes, but very unlikely, I'd say. What I read here, it's 16 sticks, or 16. Well, it's not sticks because it's not a PC component in that way, but it's a configuration of 16 times half a gigabyte. What? 16 times half a gigabyte? Really? Really? That's bullshit. I guess there is some benefit. Oh, that was not a smart idea. I guess there is some amount of benefit to that. I'm assuming it has to do with speed because it's a 16 channel configuration, I'm assuming. Oh, it's even more complicated, I read now. You know what? I'm not going to read an entire Wikipedia article on stream, if you don't mind. That makes sense with the time period the machine was designed in. Well, yeah, if it was designed in 1998. Yeah, there's graphics RAM and then this system memory RAM. I'm talking about system memory and not specifically graphics. But yeah, I guess there is a benefit to it through like the same way there's a benefit to having multiple weaker cores in a CPU, which that's what a GPU is. More or less, anyway. But I wouldn't have guessed. I would not have guessed. Then again, it is a console, and those actually are always fairly underpowered. Even like, I don't. Do we know what's in the PS5 yet? I don't think we know. I don't think. Oh no. Wrong button. You know, it works, but still wrong button. Still wrong button. You know what? Again, it works. Oh, your chat wasn't working? It seems like YouTube is just being weird today. And I kind of, yeah, you know, it's... The fact that YouTube is being weird actually is kind of comforting, because that means that they're just doing what they always do. It's nostalgic. It's not nostalgic because it happens every other fucking week here. From what we know, there should be a 15% slower system with 15% slower than a system with a 3700X and an RX 5700 XT. So what you're saying is it's not a shit system. It's just kind of a shit system. I don't know, it used to be that there was a, like, yeah, okay, maybe I'm just being a little bit too PC Master Race here, because that's not a shit system. If you have that on a PC right now, you can, like, do very well in gaming, and you're set for a couple of years, right? But for the new generation of hardware to be that, and that's going to stick around for, like, 5 or 6 years, right? That's not that good. And I feel like when the PlayStation 3 was released, that was way more top of the line for its time than the PS5. Then again, we did have a PS4 Pro this generation, which might be an indication of how things are going to keep going as a trend in the industry. At which point there might be a PS5 Pro which actually has like more powerful hardware three or so years down the line, right? So that is a very real possibility. Ryzen 4000 will be up to 15% faster in gaming than 3000. You don't know that until they're released, is the thing, though. There's a good chance that they will be faster, and by a significant amount, but those kinds of numbers, when you actually compare them to the benchmarks of when CPUs and hardware in general is released, usually the benchmarks in like real world examples do turn out to be a... Oh my god, I disconnected my headphones. They do turn out to be a fair bit lower than that usually. So, yeah, they will be faster, but don't let manufacturers hype you up by things they themselves have quote-unquote tested. I mean, it's still all communication from the manufacturer is the thing. So, my chat is also being weird on YouTube, I think, or on... Yeah, my chat is being weird on OBS, so I'm going to look on YouTube, I guess, on it. Luckily, I still have the page open. Whether a system is shit or not, the fans will find something that the system is better than the others. Well, yeah, true. Just objectively true. Like, this generation... There's always going to be a console wars between Sony and Microsoft. It's just like, it's kind of tradition at this point. And then Nintendo's just doing their own thing on a totally separate release cycle, right? That's just the way, that's just a law of nature at this point. But from like what we have available as like computing hardware right now, when the console isn't even out yet, with again, those also obviously being estimates, right? We literally just don't know how the machine will run until it's been released. We just literally won't know. I like all consoles and PC. Game exclusive get me playing a system or... Well, yeah, that's the idea of an exclusive game, is that there's actually a reason to buy a system. And that's also the reason that Microsoft has definitely fucking lost this generation. Because PlayStation has just like blown them out of the water there. But they used to have like Halo, and that's not even exclusive anymore because that's on PC now. But I'd prefer if every game was just released on PC. If that could be a thing, if that's something you could work on, please, just every game on PC. Okay, Nintendo doesn't have to. But everything that comes out of like PlayStation and Xbox just also being on PC would be wonderful. I'd very much enjoy that. Please make that happen. Well, yeah, the information that we have confirmed is one thing, but again, that is also, you have to realize between all that information, there's also like a lot of PR padding, as in, yeah, we just got 2 hungry crystals. Wow. I'm not saying that the numbers they tell you are total bullshit. It's just those are probably the best case scenario, which are never actually gonna happen. And the real world day-to-day performance of a chip of anything is probably going to be at least somewhat, if not significantly lower than what a manufacturer tells you it'll be. Man, okay, so the YouTube channel is just a little bit behind, and OBS sometimes just skips messages. Okay, that's not confusing at all. What I'm trying to farm right now is mostly Wellspring gems. This is the best way to get Wellspring gems and crystals. I don't particularly need the crystals. They're going to help by allowing me to synthesize other crystals, but I just want to grind those probably, because it's going to be very expensive to synthesize all of them. But it might help me a little bit and save me like an hour or two toward the tail end of doing this grinding. Right now it's mostly about pretty much everything, but mostly Wellspring gems. Once I have all of those, there is way more efficient ways to get the other items on my list. And all the Wellspring crystals I get in the process, I guess that's just a nice bonus. Yeah, it's just an educated guess. I fully agree with that, and I think it's useful to calculate based on what we know. But and I'm not saying that it goes for you or anybody like watching this right now specifically. But what usually ends up happening when a new hardware generation is released is that everybody's very disappointed that it's not actually the monster hardware that was promised to them based on calculations that people did. Based on all the confirmed information we have, and usually it ends up being like at least a couple percent, enough to be significantly lower in real world performance, and people get disappointed by that. And that's just too bad, because you don't have to be. You can be disappointed if it's not that big of an improvement over the last generation, at which point, I mean, Ryzen 2 to 3 was a really, really big jump, right? So I have a hard time believing that 3 to 4 is going to be as significant as 2 to 3, but hey, it might be, and fuck, I hope it'll be, because the more computing power I can get into my PC, the better it's going to be. And not even just because I buy a new CPU, because I've literally just bought a new CPU a half a year ago, right? Maybe a little bit less. Maybe a little bit more, actually. Somewhere around half a year ago. But if there's a more powerful CPU out there, if there's a 4000 series which like costs as much as a 3000 series does now, but has like 20% better performance, that's going to make the price of 3000 series CPUs fucking tank, meaning that I can more easily afford a 3000 series CPU. So obviously, even though I probably wouldn't like stay up to date with the latest, very latest in that generation, it would still benefit me, right? And people would be reselling. I probably wouldn't actually go for a used hardware anymore, because I try to buy used hardware, like a CPU. I got fucking scammed. And the motherboard didn't come with a backplate, and then I wanted to go buy a separate backplate for my CPU cooler, and then I couldn't get one. So I had to buy an entirely new motherboard or a new cooler, but I went with a new motherboard. So yeah, no, my experience with building this PC with used materials wasn't very good, so I'm probably not going to do that anymore. And on top of that, used stuff, usually, you don't save that much, because I can take away 21% of the price, because value-added tax I can take away because it's a business expense, right? So if you take away 21% of the price and compare it to used materials, it's not that much cheaper to buy used, but it comes with so much risk. So I'm not doing that ever again for computer hardware. Yeah, but grinding money is a very not efficient way of doing things, and even if you have money, you can't actually buy the crystals. You have to synthesize the crystals by using the stone, shard, and gem variant of any specific type, together with a wellspring crystal. So I can't just buy my way to it. I need to synthesize, sadly. For which I need to actually grind specific items in specific spots. But during that time I will also be gathering some money, which does make the process towards the end a little bit easier. Planning on saving up for a 3900X and a Radeon 7. The Radeon 7... Look, AMD hasn't been like on top of things with GPUs. That might change, but I have an AMD GPU, don't get me wrong, but if I had to buy one right now with like a high tier budget, if it's a middle tier budget, AMD is fine. But if I'm looking for like high tier budget, Nvidia just like literally gives you more horsepower. And they also fucking killed SLI. For some reason, because it doesn't really give you that much of a boost in most applications, mostly in gaming, in like computing stuff a lot more, but in gaming not as much, obviously. But yeah, I'd get an Nvidia card probably if I had to buy one brand new right now. My RX 480, yeah, I'm still running a 480. It's doing just fine. Never had an issue with it. I never actually get it to like 100% load at all. The highest I ever get is like 60%. But that's also because I don't game in like higher than 14... not even at 4040p. I don't game higher than 1080p because I just don't have a monitor for it. And I don't do like very heavy 3D animation or anything. The heaviest thing I do like content creation wise is like blurring things, like very heavily blurring things, and then having like a blur mask move over the screen, which, man, Adobe freaks the fuck out when you do that. But for that, you don't need a very powerful GPU. I'd probably go with better RAM if I were to upgrade right now. That's not true. I'd definitely go for a proper SSD setup because I'm still running on hard drives here. I exactly know what my SSD setup is going to be when I get one, but the SSD setup I have in mind is like $350, which is a little bit much for me right now. But I know exactly what SSDs, I have them listed somewhere, they will be, because I have two M.2 slots on my motherboard, one of which is a SATA one, which is not as fast, but I also have a PCIe one, which is insanely fast. So that's definitely going to be my boot drive. Then my work drive is going to be the SATA M.2, and then I've got all my hard drives I'm running off now as archive drives. But I want my boot drive to be at least 500 gigabytes, because I also want all of my Adobe software on there, and then some other room for other stuff. And then I want my work drive to be like a terabyte at least. So you can see how I start to run into like high pricing there. And then I also want like more and faster RAM. And by the time I get a computer that is like workable again, with like $600 in, which is quite a lot of money. So I'm gonna have to like just deal with the fact that my computer is not what I want it to be. I mean, if it were what I wanted it to be, it wouldn't have any spinning disks in it whatsoever. Everything would just be running on purely like large SSDs, and I would have like two RTX 480 2080s. Higher captures for more quality Pokemon Red and Yellow. I mean, yeah, no, that's definitely like Pokemon through the years takes me about like 1% of my computer power to record, probably. At this moment, streaming this game, let me actually check. The OBS itself, Streamlabs, uses like 2.5% of my CPU power, which is fucking nothing. I probably could have it use more and have the quality be a little bit better, but honestly, I think we're fine. I probably should use Thunder when it's available, shouldn't I? Let me check in Task Manager how much resources I'm using at the moment. Okay, I'm using quite a bit of RAM, actually. I'm using 30-ish% of my CPU at the moment. And most of that is coming from... I don't even know what that is. It's just like a system process. And then OBS is at 3% right now. So, yeah, my CPU is fine at the moment for this work anyway. For video editing, you can never have enough horsepower, obviously. Yeah, I probably could get more mileage out of my GPU as well, but honestly, I've never really ran into GPU bottlenecks that much. Again, probably because I have a card which is capable of at least 1440p gaming, certain titles at low settings 4K, and I game at 1080p, and for like work-related stuff I don't need the full horsepower of it. But I could probably like get more mileage out of my 480. Then again, I do have a reference cooler. I don't have a board partner. I have an AMD graphics card. I don't have a circuit board made by AMD with like a beefy cooler on top of it. I have a blower style cooler, which is going to limit my my margins there by quite a lot. I mean, Kingdom Hearts music and Minecraft music, I don't know if they would go very well together, to be honest. I prefer to listen to one or the other. You do you, but I know what I'd be doing. And I'd definitely play on Minecraft rather than listening to my stupid voice. You like equality when it comes to performance. I think I understand that. But why would I upgrade my GPU when I'm not utilizing all of its power? There has to, other than just like showing other people, like other enthusiasts, your high benchmark numbers, I'm not using my full GPU. Usually. And why would I upgrade it if I don't use it? I'm sure that I could get into situations where I do use my full GPU, but then I still do have like bottlenecks with my drives because I'm running off hard drives, so there's going to be some like bottlenecking there. And I know it sounds really stupid to be bottlenecked by your fucking drive of all things, but I'm a RAM. But my GPU is not the thing that's like bottlenecking me whatsoever, and I think you should, when upgrading a PC, you should just like take them one bottleneck at a time. And even though in theory, like they don't really match that well, it's more than I need at the moment apparently, because I never utilize it fully. It kind of depends. RAM bottlenecks are way more common than people realize. Drives, well, yeah, if you're still running hard drives and depending on the workload you're doing, might be fairly common as well. But I don't think those are as common anymore, because if you just like buy a new PC right now, you're not going to not have an SSD. You're always going to have at least some sort of SSD, and even a SATA SSD, bottlenecking that thing, you have some serious computing power, probably. If you like, not just literally a file transfer, if you're just like in a kind of workflow, whether that be gaming or content creation in any sort of way, you're not going to probably bottleneck a SATA SSD. Unless you're like hooking up a lot of other processes and all on different drives to it, in which case, yeah, you can bottleneck it. But I don't see that happening as much. RAM, on the other hand, people, man, you need lots and fast RAM. I want a 2 terabyte RAM machine for Apple. I don't have 50k. Please give me $50,000 so I can get that machine and then put Windows on it. I don't even think Windows would support 2 terabytes of RAM, would it? I mean, probably a server configuration would, but like just Windows Premium or whatever the highest like home version of Windows is called. Highest PC version, I mean. I don't think they would support 2 terabytes of RAM. I think Apple definitely got some on Microsoft there. You got one 16 gigabyte kit of DDR4. What kind of... I'm guessing 2 sticks of 8 you have? Or do you literally have 1 stick of 16? Because that gives great upgradability, I guess. Yeah, 2 terabyte plus is only supported on server. That makes sense. I don't know why Apple felt a need to, like... Is it literally just to shut up the people that say that Apple is underpowered compared to Windows? Because there's no need to have 2 terabytes in one machine. If you're putting 2 terabytes into any computer configuration, it's gonna be a server. In which case you might as well make it a server rather than putting it in a desktop form factor. I don't understand the thought process there. So yeah, that is Tech Talk with Vlogger Games. Let's talk about Kingdom Hearts. There's nothing to talk about. That's the issue. So how many... I probably should like keep a bit of an eye on these things. Okay, I've got 83, not 38. Wellspring Gems. Well, we have 99. We need to go offload them at the That's a Moogle shop. Yeah, me too. I can just talk about like PC stuff for hours. Same with Kingdom Hearts. Lots of gaming stuff. Same with film stuff. I mean, when you get me going, I don't stop. But I feel like I'm not saying that we should stop talking about it, but I do feel like I might be alienating a couple of people in chat here. Which is obviously not what I mean to do. So if anybody's like, I don't understand what the fuck these people are talking about, but I'd like to talk about anything else, please do just say something in chat, and I'll like, we can see if that's an interesting topic to talk about next. If not, we can keep talking about computer tech. I don't mind. I literally don't mind. I can spend the next hour grinding away at these Heartless and just talking about like computer chips. I can do that. I will do that with lots of pleasure. How big is the farm you're making? Because you're definitely playing Minecraft, because you will listen to Minecraft music. And Minecraft music is not the kind of music you listen to because you like the sound of it. It's the kind of music you listen to because you're playing Minecraft. So, what kind of farm are we talking about here? Are we talking like a 5x5? Are we talking like a 10x10? Is it multi-layered? I always like to make my farms multi-layered, like one layer per crop. I have a layer of melons. No, actually, those are different kinds of farms I make. I have a layer of wheat, then a layer of potatoes, a layer of carrots. The new thing that was added, which can be made in red dye. I don't know what it's called. And then have them semi-automated, where I have dispensers with water buckets to harvest them all, so I only have to replant. And then obviously have them all go into a hopper. I like automating things, if you hadn't noticed yet. So I am pretty much just waiting for a new Feed the Beast. I'm sorry. One moment. New updated version of Feed the Beast to play again. And why did you spawn all of a sudden? Because, I do like automating things. I kind of like automating things in vanilla Minecraft more, strangely enough. Because they don't make it as easy on you, and you have to like be a little bit more creative and design your things, rather than just putting down literally an automation block. 12 by 12 or bigger. 12 by 12 is pretty good, actually. And that is just one layer, or are we talking like multi-layered, like I just mentioned? And I didn't want to fight you guys, but you know, if you spawn and I can't do the battle gate because of you, you're gonna have to die. But I've got Thunderzar, so fuck all you all. I probably should just go get an adamantite, by the way, and upgrade the Keyblade to its max level, just so that's a little bit more powerful. I'll probably do that after we get this entire inventory full. Okay, so we're doing this again. Again, as I said, we're going to do this like a lot of times. We're 45 minutes in, so that means we're not even halfway through, and we are just doing this over and over and over and over again. Isn't that a lot of fun? I think it's a lot of fun. You finished checking. It's 16 by 20, not including the fences I'm adding around it. So with the fences, it's 18 by 22. Now the real question is, are you using fences or are you using stone walls? Because that's an entirely different look. And honestly, for a farm, I personally prefer like the stone walls look to the fence look. But it's a personal choice. It's definitely a personal choice. Neither one is the correct answer. There's just one of them is better than the other, and that is the stone walls. Where's the last Heartless? There you are, you little bitch. Oh, you're not the last one. You're down here with like a lot of friends, actually. Wait a second, did I just hear Baymax say, Sora, here's one more? Man, I fucking love Baymax. It does sound like the alternate Crowsmar battle theme, you're right. Huh. I never made that connection, but it does have a certain similarity. Using fences because you like it more. I made a 3-story house out of wood, so yeah, but I'm basic because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. Honestly, if you make a house out of wood, 3 stories, that's not basic and not spending a lot of time on it. Because if you were basic not spending a lot of time on your house, it would be made of stone. Cobblestone, smooth stone. It's not called smooth stone anymore, it's just stone. Or even stone bricks. That is just simple and somewhat lazy. Getting all the wood to make a house out of wood is actually quite a lot of work. Because I usually like to build my houses out of wood as well. And I like to use wooden logs at the corners. And then wooden planks and for the walls, and then stairs for the roof, like anybody. But I usually spend like quite a long time just like farming trees before I can build a house like that. And until then, I'm usually just like in a very small like either wooden planks box or a cobblestone box. Or I'm just living in a cave. I also oftentimes live in a cave at the start of a Minecraft save. All this talk makes me want to play Minecraft instead of Kingdom Hearts. Okay, my wellspring gems are maxed out, so I just need to go back to the garage now. And then also max out my Keyblade. It doesn't take that long to smelt that stuff. You just make like 8 furnaces. And then you don't even have to be around. And if you want to do it like very clever, you can just like put a chest on top, a chest on bottom. Put 2 hoppers down. Just throw down 2 double chests. So that's 4 chests, 6 chests, 10 iron. And you can just like let it cook away while you go mining. Make sure the chunks don't unload because then they won't smelt, obviously. But it doesn't take that long. It's not that hard. And you can, or you can go like do some fishing or something while that cooks up. Well, I'm going to keep grinding because I really need to. But honestly, I might like do some Minecraft sometime in the future. I like Minecraft. I haven't played Minecraft in a hot minute. Like, it's been half a year. I played Minecraft like a decent amount. I did like 2 or 3 save files before I got bored of it. When the villager trading update was like just released. But then I kind of fell out of it again because I was hoping that the Beast would update to that patch. And now we have the B update, which isn't that big of a deal. But I guess it does improve performance like significantly. So there's that. Okay, one moment here. I'm going to have to count a little bit because we have, let's see. We have Blazing Shards, don't care. Blazing Crystals, 26. So we can... 26. Let's knock off 30 of those. Lightning Stone, don't care. Lightning Gem, don't care. Lightning Crystal, 17. Let's knock off 20 for that. That's 170 to go. Withering Crystal is 24. Where's the Withering Crystal? 24. Let's just knock off 20 for that. That's 160 to go. Wellspring Gem, obviously, that's 100. So that's 250 to go. Wellspring Crystal, don't care about. Hungry Crystal, that's 25 to go after this. And that is that. Okay, so we can... Let's check what we needed exactly. I think we need adamantite to upgrade the thing. Keyblade Forge. We need adamantite and then an electrum, I think. Which, do we have that last one, actually? It's a very good question. I don't know where to get it. I'm guessing they're at the very bottom. Electrum. Yeah, we have electrum. Okay, that's good. So let's go get some adamantite. Just to mix things up a little bit as well. The last Minecraft I remember playing was when they added polar bears. My friend knows more of Minecraft than me. Yeah, a lot of those things I just like kind of glossed over because when I started playing again, or when I played it for a little while again, there were just polar bears and like lots of new biomes, which I don't know when they were added. They were just like there all of a sudden, which was a little bit intimidating, to be honest. I think this is where you get adamantite. I think. Let's embark from the Keyblade graveyard. Yeah, this is a monstrosity, by the way. I built the ship specifically for the gummy superboss. And it still was very, very difficult. But this is a very, like, yeah. It's a very powerful thing with also a lot of HP. So I built it specifically for the superboss, which you need to beat for an Orichalcum Plus, obviously. Wait, a golden high wind? First of all, is it only like, does it only look good? Or is it also like actually good? Secondly, how do I get a golden high wind? Because that sounds like something I want. And we already got an electrum. I need adamantite, not electrum. I have plenty of electrum. I think I have more electrum than I have keyblades. I need adamantite. And just one as well. I'm probably gonna like keep going a little bit longer than just getting one. You need to get the second star road. You need to find and photograph constellations, and you need to fight secret boss. I have fought secret boss. Is it actually like a very good gummy ship? Because I might do that at some point. I've done everything there is to do. So I might do it in like critical mode. Want to do that? I don't know. Stop giving me mithril. I need adamantite. I probably got some adamantite and just didn't notice it. I'm very aware. Because I'm looking at chat as well. Damascus. Don't need none of that. Got plenty of that. Gimme adamantite. Like lots of it. It kicks ass. Okay. Definitely gonna want to get that then. Because this ship, while really good for the secret boss fights, not actually that good of a ship, as you can see. Adamantite, there we go, there we go, there we go. That's all I needed. I need one adamantite, one electrum, but I had like 14 electrum, I think, or 4, one or the other. More than I needed. That's a takeaway from that. So let's go back to San Francisco. I'm starting to get hungry. With my regular nothing but weapons gummy ship like 50 times. Oh, you took it down in under a minute with the golem. What? You took it down under a minute? Wow. I mean, I didn't have much trouble, I don't think, with the ship I just showed you. But it's a bit of a jank ship. I'll admit that. Like, it's not very pretty or aerodynamic, like at all. Oh, you only need to get one specific one. I thought you mentioned having to get them all. Wait, there's more bosses? I did get the most difficult, like the super boss.
Come on, fellas.
Which one? Can you like link it to me on Discord? The secret boss you're talking about, because I didn't know there was another secret boss. There's the one like in the area of the gummy ship, Middle Star Road, the twist of the center of the world. He is a secret boss. Yeah, I might have not fought that one. I did the one. Well, I did the one you need to get the Orichalcum Plus. So that's the one in the last area where the Keyblade Graveyard is, where we were just at. And I think he is either on top or under. I mean, there's a boss in both locations, but I think the like super boss is under the giant fortress. It's a very difficult one, that one. That one I did fight, but apparently there's another secret boss. I mean, there's more than just one boss that is non-mandatory and just like hanging out until you run into it. So is it just one of those, or is it actually like also a difficult fight? That's what everyone knows of that super boss, Orichalcum Plus. You need to fight 4 bosses before it shows up. And you were right, first he shows up at the top. Yeah, he shows up at the top, I figured. Because there's like there's the one at the bottom that's like the snake dude, isn't it? Look, it's been a while. It's been like a year since I've done this. I did this like 2 weeks after the game initially released. Because I completed the entire game in 2 days, 3 days maybe, and then I did the. It might have been like in the first week after the release, to be honest, because man, I slacked off like in work and like getting enough sleep that week. I did not do a very good job at being very professional there. But it's Kingdom Hearts 3. What were you expecting me to do? I like. The final stretch of the game, after finishing this world, I figured, oh, I can do the Keyblade Graveyard. That's probably going to be like 2 hours. I can do that. It was 10:30 when I started that. And then, after the final world was finished, it was like 2 AM. And I figured, let's actually just stop here, because this is gonna go on fucking forever. And it did. Because the next night, I also had to go to sleep late because Xehanort was being a bit of a bitch. Because I was like level 50 against Xehanort. Which now I could do that easily, but I didn't know his patterns and stuff, obviously. I mean, if the Golden Highway is somewhat easy to get, I might just like go get it in a little bit, because I can't do this for another hour. Even on stream, this is so fucking mind-meltingly boring to do. I can't do this for like long periods of time at all. That's why I keep going to do other stuff every so often, because otherwise I just like, I'll suffer a mental breakdown and I'll murder all of your families. That's not a threat. That's not a threat. Calm down. It's not a threat, it's a promise. Exactly, you get me. I don't threaten everybody. Never threatened anybody. I've only promised stuff. And then not delivered on it, because that's what a threat usually is. Is a threat and then not doing anything, is that a broken promise? I think in a certain way that might be a broken promise. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's a broken promise if they want you to keep it. Man, that's complicated. I don't understand anything here. Getting text messages here. Live on stream. And it's a cat in a box! I like cats in boxes. Boxes, not boxes. Where's my... I mean, this is going to sound like very rich boy. It is very much not. But where's my other phone? I have one phone that I use for like apps and one phone that I use for like being able to actually communicate with other human beings. Because I'm actually such a poor bitch that I can't afford a proper phone. And the one I use for apps is a faster one. But it's very, very broken. So I can't rely on that giving me messages and stuff when I'm out. And I have a very cheap phone on the side that functions as like getting texts and calls and that kind of stuff. That's WhatsApp, yeah. It's a work phone and a regular phone. You could say it that way. It's it's more that one of them doesn't have 4G anymore. Like, just when it doesn't have Wi-Fi, it doesn't have internet, which means that for most communication I have, I won't be available if I'm not at home with that phone. And it also doesn't charge properly anymore. It can charge, but it's like very tricky. And if I'm out and doing stuff and I need to charge my phone, I just can't charge that one. So I have the other one to charge instead. So there's one useful phone and one phone that I just use because like certain games run on it. But I also still have like my banking apps on those, on that one. I probably should just like put that on my more useful phone, because that's something you probably want to be able to like access at any given time, rather than only when you're at home and the phone is charged. But I just can't be bothered. So, and I had to check my bank account there for a moment, because money reasons. And I didn't like what I saw, so that's always a nice feeling, isn't it? I want you to see if your ship is at least fast enough to fight him. I'm going to go fight the dude, but we've got like... Oh, we only got like half an hour left. I'll close up the stream too. And go there. It's more what's up. But yeah, I will go there. I probably won't beat him today. There's probably going to be like one more or two more streams this week of me playing Kingdom Hearts before Plants vs. Zombies starts up as the stream game. That'll be starting like on this weekend, I think. We have 2 more episodes for Plants vs. Zombies. One going up tomorrow and one going up on Thursday. And then a new series, which is New Super Mario Bros. DS, starts on Saturday, I believe. So, starting on Friday, I'll do Plants vs. Zombies as my stream game for a little while. And whatever happens after that, I don't know. It might be just like a little bit more Kingdom Hearts for the next little while, because I'm really enjoying replaying this game. But things might get a little bit stale, as it's only replaying and grinding and stuff, so we might move on to a different game, and I don't know which one that'll be yet. Maybe we'll do a little bit of Minecraft for like a couple of weeks. I don't know. Anybody got suggestions? As always, maybe we'll do Pokemon Conquest on stream. That could be fun. Maybe we'll do Pokemon Conquest on stream, because I'm not very good at like tactical RPGs at all. So having you guys around here to help, that sounds like a good idea for me. We really can't extend the time though, because 8 o'clock my time the video goes up for today, and also I do need to have dinner at a certain point in my life. So in about 40 minutes I am going to have to leave. But as I said, I will do the fight on stream today. I probably won't beat it, but that might be like a fun little project for the next time. Beating the boss fights and getting the golden high win and all that kind of good stuff. Also, my ship definitely is not fast enough to beat anything, because it's a very slow ship. It's got a shit ton of HP, like an absolute shit ton of HP. And some firepower as well. It's very slow. So if a certain amount of speed is needed to even get to the fight, I don't think I'll be able to get to the fight, like at all. If it's a matter of you need a lot of speed to be able to avoid his attacks, I can absorb quite a few attacks with my ship. So that might not be a problem. It's not fast about movement, but speed depending on the radar thing. Where you, if you don't have speed, then I'll send you a location guide to get the ship. It's very fast, but there's almost no damage. Yeah, I don't want that though. If that ends up being needed, I'll just go get the Golden High Wind, since that's apparently a good ship, and we'll just like dedicate a part or a whole stream to that. Because I don't want to be doing that with a ship with no damage. Unless he has like no HP as well, in which case that kind of balances out, I suppose. But no, I'd rather not. I'd really rather not. You do get in a rhythm here though, which is very nice in a way. I'm looking around in my room if I have anything to like munch on. I do have chocolate chip cookies again, but that's fairly allowed to eat on camera, so I'd rather not. And I've got chocolate, but that's not very filling. And I've got wafer cookies, which, again, a little loud. And I've got potato chips, which is probably the loudest thing I have right here. Yeah, I have got all that food in my room at the moment, by the way. I like to have something to snack on at night. So, but none of that is like very silent, other than the chocolate. I guess I could get a piece of chocolate. That would be okay. I'll do that after this. I'll get one piece of chocolate. I need to make sure that I like don't have to force myself to eat dinner after this because I filled up in chocolate. I don't have that much chocolate left anymore, and it's pretty good chocolate as well. I'm getting very hungry. Why am I talking about food? Don't let me do this to myself. Honestly, lemon honey cough drops, you can eat that as candy, even if you're not sick. That's definitely a candy-worthy kind of thing, I'd say. But yeah, if you're sick, sorry dude, that sucks. It's like, it's February though, so that's kind of like the time to get sick. As long as it's not the coronavirus, you're fine, probably. And you're almost done with the farm. That's new. News? Well, it's news, I suppose. I was going to say good. I don't know why my mouth just made the word news. Dude, we're doing so well this random fucking, like, nothing stream. As far as, like, viewers go. We've been consistently at 4 and now we're up to 5. Hello, welcome, new viewer. I'm very happy. Let's see, items. Not this one, it's here. We're only at 41 Wellspring Gems at the moment. Okay, so I'm going to go get one little piece of chocolate. I just got like everything left of the bar, so I can probably eat it all on the rest of the stream. It's very good chocolate though. It's got some kind of creamy stuff in it, and caramel, which I'll get into a debate on how to pronounce caramel. Is it caramel? Is it caramel? Is it how else can I pronounce it? Like, I know it's potato, but I feel like caramel, whatever you'd like to call it, has the most amount of pronunciations that aren't soda bullshit. Like, potato is literally just potato. Tomato, literally tomato. Rayquaza, it's Rayquaza or Rayquaza. None other apply, right? Arceus, that's Arceus. That's a third one. It's caramel, yeah. You see, I'm used to saying caramel as well, because in Dutch, it also has the emphasis on the A sound in the middle. But for some reason when I talk English, which is real weird, I make it into caramel. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel right saying caramel. Even though that's like how it is said in my native language, pretty much. So I don't know what's up with that. Maybe because I'm trying to differentiate the words between the two languages, I prefer saying caramel because it's a more separate word from caramel. I don't know. I tend to do that a lot with words in the English language that sound a lot like Dutch words, where they get twisted a little bit just to get their own identity or something. I don't know. It's weird. Let's agree. Call it molten sugar. Molten sugar and salt. To be fair. But yeah, no, it definitely, it's just molten sugar, which is why it's so goddamn tasty. It's molten sugar, which, okay, you're gonna call me crazy here, but it's even better if it's like slightly burnt. It just gets like a little bit of bitterness to it, which is so good. If you just melt the sugar and it doesn't burn, which technically is the better way to prepare it, I suppose, because it leads to less cancer. I don't know if burnt sugar, burnt caramel leads to cancer. It's just like I assume it does. But that little bit of bitterness together with like the molten sugar and then the saltiness, if you also add salt, which again, if it's literally just molten sugar, it's not really caramel, is it? You kind of need to add salt. As a matter of fact, I think I looked this up with somebody like years ago when we were having this exact discussion. Is molten sugar without salt in it actually caramel or not? We looked it up. I can't remember the answer. I think it's not. I think for it to be like quote unquote officially classified as caramel, you need to add salt. Otherwise it's literally just molten sugar. But I could be mistaken in that. I am not entirely sure. And I don't have any more chocolate to eat. That makes me sad. And we scared away the 5th viewer by talking about caramel. That's just a story of my life, isn't it? The moment I feel like I'm starting to talk about something actually interesting, people leave. You're welcome for the free entertainment, motherfucker. Apparently I wasn't very entertaining though, so that kind of like makes sense. All my self-worth just went out the fucking window. You finished mismatching? Wow, talking hard. Me, YouTuber. Now just to make some stairs to go, so you don't need to jump every... You know, there is a auto jump in Minecraft now, and I hate it. This is the first thing I do when I install Minecraft, is turn that fucking option off. It's a horrible option. I guess in some situations, very specific contexts, it makes sense. But I don't like it. I really don't like it. Like, I actually actively dislike it. Which, that could be said about like a lot of things in the universe. I actively dislike pretty much everything. I hate life. That's not true. I just hate most things that are alive. I don't hate life itself. Life is just like a bunch of chemicals interacting with each other. There's nothing to hate about that. It's the things that are alive which are annoying. Put that on a shirt, by the way. Life is just a bunch of chemicals reacting. Honestly, I think that shirt would sell relatively well. Especially since it's like very pseudoscience. It's not entirely correct, but correct enough to the point where people feel smart for wearing it. I think that shirt would sell relatively well. Life is just a box of chocolate. Implying that I would eat life in one sitting? I can say... We're in camera mode now. Let's see, how many items do we have? Are we getting close to... We're not even getting close to having 100 Wellspring Gems. I guess we're doing like 2 or 3 more of these and then we're going into the gummy ship stuff again. It's a quote from Forrest Gump. I know. Can you eat an entire box without feeling sick? Depending on how big the box is. But if that's like 400 grams of chocolate or less, I can probably eat in one sitting without feeling very sick. I will feel a little bit nauseous after having like 400 grams, I don't know what it is in freedom units, of chocolate. Anything above that, I definitely will start feeling a little bit sick. But yeah, no, I can take quite a bit before I start feeling sick from chocolate. That being said, that is talking about like purely chocolate. If it's like chocolate with anything in it, it's heavily dependent on what's in it. Like if there's caramel in it, or like peanuts, like a Snickers bar or a Mars bar or something. That being said, those are fairly dense compared to just like chocolate. So getting to 400 grams in that one. Like, how much is one Mars bar? That's like 200 grams, I'd say. A little bit more even. I don't know. I can eat quite a lot of sugar without feeling sick as well. Which is not something to be happy about, to be honest, because that's like very destructive for your body. But it just tastes so damn good. Why do all the bad things taste so good? Why do vegetables not taste good? Because you don't eat them every day. If you did, they probably would start tasting a lot better. But that requires me to like put in some work and stuff, and then I'm still not really enjoying it. But what is enjoyment anyway? Because it's just a bunch of conditioning, and it's not entirely true. There's also some evolutionary merits to why we like sugar, not just conditioning. I mean, yeah, because it's bad doesn't necessarily mean you can't be proud of it, but it probably means you shouldn't be. I'd say. I mean, we all have bad habits. And it's okay to be proud of that to a certain extent. I think. But not too much. Like, you should be proud of it, but you should also know that you shouldn't be proud of it. If that makes any sense. I mean, the wood crippling in and of itself, like, yeah. Anything that follows that is not going to be good. Everything is enjoyed best in moderation, obviously. Whether that be a video game or some kind of chemical. Look, you live your life however you want. I've said this before in Discord when we were talking about, like, I don't know what we were saying anymore. I just had, like, I'd prefer if people, like, just didn't use heroin because it's got, like, an 80% addiction rate after the first or second time use. So, yeah, don't do that. But other than that, you know, it's your life, it's your body. You do whatever the fuck you want. Just, like, be aware of any, like, consequences and risks of the things you're doing. That's pretty much, like, the most important part. If you're like, okay, this will, like, fuck up this part of my body, and that might lead to, like, problems in the future, let's do it anyway. You've considered it. You apparently don't care about your future, which is fine, because sometimes you're like, you know what? I don't care about what, like, 60-year-old me is going to be like. You can figure that out when that time comes. Medical science is probably going to advance, like, way more in that time anyway, so we'll be fine. Let's just do this thing that's not good for me. Honestly, that's a fair way to think. And that is, honestly, the way I think quite a lot. Otherwise, I would be living a lot healthier. But I do have a lot of my faith in medical science being able to, like, save my heart. I'm not overweight. I just, like, I don't eat healthy whatsoever. I don't exercise whatsoever. So, yeah. I hope they can, like, when I'm, like, 50 or 60... I hope they can 3D print hearts, because otherwise I'm fucked. But that's the gamble I'm taking, right? I just want to enjoy life as much as possible. Which means that, yeah, that's not the most healthy way of doing it. And honestly, I do believe that by the time it becomes a problem, there will be a fix for it. And if there's not, at least it's been a good ride. I mean, the word addiction in and of itself doesn't necessarily mean non-functioning. It just means that there is something in your brain that like compels you very, very strongly, whether that be like psychological or chemical, which
Come on, fellas.
is kind of also like psychological, is also caused by chemicals in your brain, but it's like it's slightly different. It just compels you to do something because your brain and your body gets a enjoyment out of it, right? And sure, addiction literally means that your body in that way has more power over you than you over it, usually. But again, it doesn't necessarily have to mean non-functioning. Like, most of the people you know from like movies and Hollywood, they're probably using quite a bit of drugs. Gonna be honest with you. Like, okay, maybe Robert Downey Jr. doesn't anymore because he's been like at very low points in his life. But I don't know, like a lot of his co-stars probably like use quite a bit of cocaine, something like that, right? It's just like that's what the top of those businesses are like. A lot of businesses actually. It's just like you can't keep up without the stuff, and you're like just getting forced into an addiction, which is in some ways rather horrible. Most of the athletes, these days they hide it better probably, but they didn't stop using the stuff. I don't fucking believe that. So yeah, you can be in certain ways functioning and also an addict to something. And obviously when we discuss addiction, drugs is the first thing that comes up because it's the most like well-known kind of addiction. But think like video game addiction or other kinds of addictions which are not like related to ingesting stuff into your body. They happen quite a lot. And they're usually taken less seriously, which is a real fucking issue. Look, I'm not accusing anybody of doing drugs. I'm just saying there's a real good chance, and they're probably like on average, it happens a lot. Not anybody specifically. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't like dare point at anybody specifically and say he definitely uses something. But on average, yeah, that is a thing that happens. Look, there's one sponsorship I will not take. And that is Raid Shadow Legends. They have to pay me. That's not true. If they pay me an extraordinary amount of money, I'll probably take it. Mostly because just for the memes, I guess. But no. For like a normal, reasonable amount of money, I will not accept a Raid Shadow Legends sponsorship. Which is a little bit beggars can't be choosers because I'm not getting any sponsorships, obviously, because there's 4 people watching this. But, man, no, I hate them. Fucking hate it. There's such a thing as advertising too much and being way too annoying. And also, apparently, they do like bad things like fraud and stuff. Because I've heard about people purchasing in-app purchases and then getting something entirely different from the thing they paid for, which is literally just fraud. Again, don't necessarily have any proof on that, but that's just like what I've read. And it makes sense because they came out of fucking nowhere and they had a lot of money to advertise. And usually that kind of stuff doesn't come from nowhere. So it makes sense to me that they would do that. And honestly, even aside from that, I'm just annoyed by the frequency at which they advertise. And I have started to unsub to YouTube channels that actually have Raid Shadow Legends as a sponsor. Not every single video I come across of a YouTuber doing a sponsorship with them, I have unsubbed from. But the ones that are like, I don't really have any like brand loyalty to you as a channel, and YouTube this and it annoys me, I unsub from. And I've unsubbed from like sand channels that way. Since I started doing that. Which, I started doing that like a while ago. The Raid Shadow Legends have died down a little bit for sponsorships. Fucking luckily. But yeah, no, I'm not a fan. Would I do it for a... What kind of bar? I don't know that bar. Is that like a chocolate bar? Like a candy bar or something else? I am not familiar with a Klondike bar. Klondike? That sounds German. Okay, so let's go to space. Because I think we are very close to having 99 Wellspring gems anyway. Let's see. We're fucking close enough. Let's go to space. Mexicans cutting grass. I mean, at that point, you're just like making it fit into racism rather than racism fitting into the situation. Which I get. It's a joke. I get it. I get it. I make jokes all the time. None of them ever land because I'm not a good comedian. I'm just like, I'd like to think I'm at least like acceptable quality background noise. But not much more than that. Okay, so Blazing Crystal, we have about 20 more of those. So go down to 120 for you. Then we've got Lightning Crystal, we've got 11. Let's make 10 out of that, which means we need 160 more of you. Then we've got Withering Crystal, 24. Where are you? Withering Crystal, which means we need about 140 more of you. And then we got Hungry Crystals 22, which means that we just pretty much have the Hungry Crystals we need at this point. Oh, and Wellspring Gems, obviously. We've got about 90 of those, so that's about 140 left to go. We're quite a way into this. We probably, if I stream tomorrow or the day after, we're going to have everything we need from this specific spot. Okay, so now we go into the world map. You tell me where to go. I don't remember where you said the secret boss was at. But I'm probably going to use a different ship. Just like... Do I have blueprints? I have blueprints. Where are my blueprints? Highwind level 3 is the only one I can make at the moment, seems like. So... let's see. HW3. Yeah, I can't use any of these, I don't think. This is a really nice ship! Holy fuck! Okay, that's a... This is what you're gonna be looking at. That's a little bit too bad. This looks way better. Okay. Oh, and then the teeny ships, I definitely want something... Like, I just want the... These ones, yeah. I think you don't even need to save these like this, but it's more convenient for me, so I'm going to do it. The giant tornado is the boss. If you have enough speed, it pushes. If you don't have enough speed, it pushes you back into siege. Say you need a faster ship. Oh, it's the thing in the middle of the messy stream here. I know. I've looked at that before. I didn't know there was a boss. Huh. What do you know? Yeah, let's change the setup here. Main ship. Yeah, you can just like literally do this. Is the thing. I want to do some of these sometime. Whoa, that one looks awesome! Why is there still those two dogs? Yeah, this is probably not going to be fast enough, is it? Oh, that's probably much faster. Okay, let's begin voyage with this. I'm assuming the high wind level 3 is going to be enough, right? I hope it's over 100, because if it's over 200, that's going to be a bit of an issue for me, because I don't have anything over 200. Wait a second, did I just... Ah, that's a teeny ship. Okay, so it's the tornado in the middle of this place. Man, this looks good. I remember seeing this in the trailers for the first time, and I was so fucking impressed, and I still kind of am, to be honest. Where is the tornado here? I always figured that the tornado in the middle here was just a... Yeah, it's that place, isn't it? Was just a way to get from one overworld map to the next. But it's actually a boss fight. Huh. Apparently the age of the internet has not spoiled all the secrets of games for me. I need a faster ship. Fuck. Yeah, I mean, that definitely was the right part. I'm fairly sure. I just need a faster ship. Okay, where do I get this fucking ship? I might just... Oh, I looked at my phone there. I might just do this like tomorrow instead. Because I just looked at the time and there's not a lot of time left. Oh, okay, I'll beat this thing and then tomorrow we'll do the other thing, okay? Because I just do kind of want to go eat some food. Yeah, I don't know if you could hear that, but that was my stomach. Right in time, by the way. Thank you, stomach. How do I activate the special weapon again? Is it like... Oh, that's definitely how. That's not that powerful. Probably, if we do anything, probably the next stream will be the Golden High Wind. If that's fast enough. I'm going to just like look into what I can like do, and then I'll do the actual like unlocking probably on stream next time. Might be a little bit of a longer stream because I also do want to do some like stat grinding still, since we're going to have to do quite a lot of that. I don't know when it'll be yet, though. It might be tomorrow, it might be on Wednesday. I can't promise anything yet. Depends on... Might be on Thursday, might be something else entirely. Depends on how work goes for me, obviously. If I am finished early enough to actually stream and also then record something, because I also need to record videos. If I can do both in the same day, or if I have enough videos recorded for the week, I can stream. So probably tomorrow or otherwise Wednesday I'll be next Next live next. Grammar's be difficult. Oh, you have separate HP bars. I did not notice that. I was just kind of shooting away at your face, and that's that. I don't really care about the trophies for this game. I'm not planning on getting platinum. If anything, if I like ever get so bored with my life that I don't know what to stream, and I have to like stream like 10 hours a day because this somehow does become a job, which it won't, I might just like do a platinum run for, I don't even need to go anyway. I do a platinum run for like all the Kingdom Hearts games because again, I love Kingdom Hearts. And they all have trophies now with the PS4 releases. So I could do that, but other than that, I don't really care about trophies. Especially not like platinum trophies for games at all. Look, as much as I like the gummy ship in this game, I think still the one in Kingdom Hearts 2 is better. I like the fact that there's an open world here, but that also means that the on-rails high action you had in Kingdom Hearts 2 has been lost, which I think is a sacrifice that wasn't worth it. But that's a highly subjective thing, obviously. So how much money do I have now? 33,000. We're going to be fine. We're going to be fine. By the time we finish this grinding, we're going to have like a lot of money. And I just realized I probably shouldn't use the money on synthesis items since I should probably use it on Alexis against Yuzora. I can do a lot of fighting in like very little time, but that just becomes tedious. I'm going to call it a day for right now. There will be a video Pokemon 3D Years, I think, live in literally 1 minute. On the channel, so you can go and watch that while I go and make myself some dinner and have a good evening. See you all back, hopefully tomorrow, maybe Wednesday, otherwise some other time. I mean, for you guys, you're going to be listening to my voice probably like literally in a minute again. So see you there, I suppose, in a way. It's weird. Bye.